Hello there, you're welcome to HisGov TV. My name is Collins Nanaya Abebrese. Now, in this video, I want us to take a look at the activities of King Leopold in the Congo. Now, I will show you a very short documentary that I have put together concerning the activities of King Leopold in the Congo, and I will share that with you. We watch for that video very soon, and then we can share our comments on King Leopold's atrocities, of course, committed in the Congo. Now, let me give you the background to how, before we watch the video, of course, let me give you a background to how King Leopold II, King of Belgium, got access to the Congo, and why he did, of course, why he did. Now, you know, the Congo was actually given to King Leopold freely during the course of the scramble for and partition of Africa. So at the Berlin Conference, it was agreed that the Congo be given. Actually, King Leopold begged for the Congo, that the Europeans should give him the Congo at the Berlin Conference. And so for the Congo was given to King Leopold freely, but he pledged to do, of course, certain things, and that is to abolish slave trade and all of that before they gave him the Congo. Now, Belgium was not that rich as at that time, and so they didn't have the power to actually engage for themselves in the scramble for Africa. So King Leopold at the time, the King of Belgium, of course, had to beg, and so the Congo was given to him. Now, don't forget that the Congo is rich in rubber. They are very, very, of course, rich in rubber. So when Leopold got the Congo, and with the coming of the Industrial Revolution, and these Europeans needed certain raw materials, like rubber and others, to make car tires and coal. Then King Leopold capitalized on the Congo's rich in culture, rich in rubber, to actually, to make the people produce more rubber for these European countries. So since Europe was in demand for rubber, of course, to make car tire, now I have also already indicated that the Congo was also rich in rubber. Then it means that King Leopold had an avenue to do that. So he then decided to force the people, the African people who lived in the Congo area, to cultivate and harvest rubber in order to meet the demands in Europe. And it was very, very devastating. People or villages in the Congo were forced to produce a certain number of or amount of rubber. If you were not able to do that, your hand was chopped off. People, a lot of atrocities, of course, a lot of atrocities went on in the Congo, and it took a long time before the world even got to know about it. So in this video, let's go in there and watch the video of King Leopold's activity in the Congo. And if you have any comment, any additional information about the Congo, you can share with us in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe as well to our channel for more of these educative contents.
King Leopold II's reign in the Congo became an international scandal due to large-scale mistreatment of the indigenous peoples, including frequent mutilation and murder of men, women, and children to enforce rubber production quotas. In this video, we shall trace the atrocities committed by King Leopold II in the Congo. Belgium is a small country between France and Germany. How extraordinary it was to discover, then, that one of this small state's kings was also one of history's greatest mass murderers. King Leopold II was the second king of the Belgians from 1865 to 1909. Leopold II wanted his country to join the League of European Empires, but the Belgian state refused to finance its part in Western Europe's expensive scramble for Africa. So they outsourced the task to Leopold, who used personal diplomacy to convince the European powers to grant him control of a large portion of the Congo basin. He promised to bring civilization to the so-called Dark Continent. Christened the Congo Free State in 1885, Leopold's playground was an astonishing 76 times the size of Belgium. Comprised largely of unmapped jungle, it was initially a huge financial burden. But when worldwide demand for rubber boomed, Leopold cashed in. Congolese workers were sent out into the jungle to slash down vines and layer their bodies with rubber latex. Later they would scrape it off the skin, often taking flesh and hair with it. The work was labor-intensive and injurious to health. The only economical way to collect it was via the forced mobilization of Congolese society. The Congo Free State evolved from a vanity possession into a slave plantation. Leopold's hell operated by an insane logic. Villages were set quotas of rubber and the gendarmerie was sent in to collect it, a process that was sped up by looting, arson and rape. If a village failed to reach its quota, hostages would be taken and shot. To ensure that the gendarmerie didn't waste their bullets hunting for food, they were required to produce the severed hands of victims. As a consequence, a trade in severed hands developed among the villages and those police that couldn't reach their quotas. Failure to meet the rubber collection quotas was punishable by death. Meanwhile, the FP was required to provide the hands of their victims as proof when they had shot and killed someone, as it was believed they would otherwise use the munitions, imported from Europe at considerable cost, for hunting. As a consequence, the rubber quotas were in part paid in severed hands. Sometimes the hands were collected by the soldiers of the FP and sometimes by the villages themselves. There were even small wars where villages attacked neighboring villages to gather hands, since their rubber quotas were too unrealistic to fill. One junior European officer described a raid to punish a village that had protested. The European officer in command ordered us to cut off the heads of the men and hang them on the village palisades, and to hang the women and the children on the palisade in the form of a cross. After seeing a Congolese person killed for the first time, a Danish missionary wrote, "The soldier said, 'Don't take this to heart so much. They kill us if we don't bring the rubber. The commissioner has promised us if we have plenty of hands he will shorten our service.'" In his words,
the baskets of severed hands, set down at the feet of the European post commanders, became the symbol of the Congo Free State. The collection of hands became an end in itself. Force Publique soldiers brought them to the stations in place of rubber. They even went out to harvest them instead of rubber. They became a sort of currency. They came to be used to make up for shortfalls in rubber quotas, to replace the people who were demanded for the forced labor gangs, and the Force Publique soldiers were paid their bonuses on the basis of how many hands they collected.
the most famous account of Leopold's Congo is Joseph Conrad's novel Heart of Darkness, 1899. With its grisly, bloody imagery, one might imagine that Conrad exaggerated the awfulness of the regime. In fact, the cold details of missionary journals make even more horrifying reading. William Henry Shepherd, a Presbyterian missionary, recalled in his diary passing by more than a dozen burned villages. He was taken to the headquarters of a gendarmerie recruit called Malumba Inkusa, described by Shepherd as a most repulsive-looking man, because his teeth were filed into sharp points, his eyebrows were shaven and his eyelashes plucked out. Leopold had demanded that Malumba collect 60 slaves and a huge amount of rubber, but only 8 slaves and 2,500 balls of rubber had been gathered. "I think we killed between 80 and 90, said Malumba of the local workers. He took Shepherd to a hut reserved for the rape of hostages and to another for the preservation of collected hands. Shepherd counted 81 hands hanging over the fire. The Congolese horror ended when international outrage compelled the Belgian state to take control of the colony in 1908. Estimates for the number of people killed range between 2 and 15 million, easily putting Leopold in the top 10 of history's mass murderers. When he died in 1909, the king's funeral cortege was booed.
So this is the atrocity that King Leopold II committed in the Congo. And the most touching one, because the one that always made me, of course, almost made me to cry, was a man who refused to go to work in the rubber plantation, had his 5-year-old daughter's hand chopped off, and he was made to look at his daughter's hand, chopped off, the hand, of course, was chopped off. He was made to sit down and look at it, whilst somebody was bold enough to take a picture of this inhumane treatment meted out to the Congo. And sometimes you ask yourself, what really is wrong with some of these European men? To me, I think that they did not consider Africans as 100% human, because if you listen to some of the atrocities, just imagining this. Now, do you think that somebody who regarded these Congolese as also a fellow human would do this? No. So to me, I think it's all about their racist ideas that made them to do this. A lot of them did not consider us as even human beings, and therefore they just did all kinds of things that they just wanted to do to us. And it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. And even today they still do it in a different way, and all that they will do is to offer an apology. And the number of people or the descendants of these people who have been through this in the Congo, and it's just sad. It's just sad that Africans, that's just something else. And nobody, of course, was persecuted for all these atrocities were committed in the Congo. And today the Congo, is still not. Come on. I'm lost of words, guys. I'm lost of words. So you can share your view in the comment section for us. If you have any other additional information about the Congo, which will help us, you can share with us in the comment section, and we will be glad to respond to that. Of course, let's get the story going. Let's let the world know how wicked that these Europeans have been to Africans. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more of these educative content.